PodAskew Podcast is a proud member of the Big Heads Media Podcast Network.
I'm Midnight Agent Raw.
And I'm Okami.
We are the Super Media Bros Podcast.
Each week, we give a comedically informative take on movies,
Music,
television,
video games,
and much more.
Put your shades on and listen to all episodes on supermediabrospodcast.com, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Yeah,
Shades on.
we're off.
Welcome to the PodAskew Podcast. I am CJ. With me, as always, is my hetero life mate, Rico. What's up, man?
Petrificus Totalis.
Oh, Christ. More Harry Potter?
More Harry Potter. The reason why we're doing more Harry Potter, despite the fact that we talked for fucking
3 hours?
The duration of like one of them, is because there is other things that like I did want to talk about, but we were kind of like, all right, fuck it, we'll do a part 2 some other time, and here's that some other time.
Right. Well, before we dive in, if it's all right with you, there's a couple of very brief things I wanted to talk about, non-Harry Potter related.
You're pregnant! So happy to hear, CJ.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I peed on the stick, got the Blue Cross. It was beautiful.
What are you gonna name it?
It.
It's definitely gonna be an it.
Yeah. No,
coming from you, it's gonna be an it.
Right. No, I was watching. You and I had talked about the Simpsons now being on Disney Plus, and we've talked about that, I think, on the Disney Plus recording. So we're not going to get deep into that. But what they have done since Disney has acquired them is put together their first, Simpsons. Disney ran Simpsons thing, and it's like a play date with Maggie. Now, I know you and I talked about it off air, but have you watched it yet?
No.
Okay, so I'm not going to spoil it too much for you, but it's only 5 minutes anyway, so it's kind of, But the thing that's a couple things that are interesting that takes place is the whole thing starts with what looks like Mickey's head on the screen. It's just blue background with a black Mickey head, like just without the face, the old school, whatever.
Yeah, the symbol.
Right. Then a light shines on, and it's actually Homer with 2 donuts above his head. And he pulls down a donut and starts eating it, as Homer does. Now, that's interesting. The other interesting thing is at the very end, before I get to the interesting thing from the middle, but at the very end, the Gracie Films that's been there for probably since it started.
The shh, dun, 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 dun.
Right. And so I guess Gracie Films is still a part of this, even though Fox isn't. I don't know the relationship, so I can't speak to that. But now Mickey's sitting in the audience.
Slowly but surely they are infecting everything.
Right, but at the same time, and there's been several new Simpsons since they took over, they're still taking shots at both Disney and Fox. So, Disney is letting them do their thing. Now, very quickly to the plot of Maggie's Playdate, she meets this kid named Landon, I think his name is. But it's important, but it's not important that I get it right now.
Right.
I just watched the first episode of The Simpsons that's been on in the last 3 weeks, and they did some interesting things, because I don't know if you're going to watch the episode, because I don't think it's going to be on Disney Plus for a while. But this sequence where they zoom in on where Bart would be writing whatever punishment on the chalkboard?
Yeah.
Not there, and it's written on the board, school online.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then where Bart would come out the door, the camera pans, nobody. The streets are fucking empty.
Dude.
Yeah. It was really, really kind of interesting. And then what I thought was cool was the whole episode seems to center around the fact that Maggie meets the kid again. So it's like a continuation from this little 5-minute short that's on Disney Plus. Now, I think you can not see the short and still enjoy the episode.
Sure.
But if you've seen the short, you're like, oh. So,
but now they're doing the whole thing like, hey, you could watch the Avengers, but you're really going to get this reference if you watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Exactly. Kind of like that. Yeah. So
they're like, hey, we know that you're all inside, so you might as well watch everything we supply.
Yeah, basically. Basically. So, but it was just interesting to see that. Now, I haven't gotten through the whole episode because we stopped to start this, so I'll have to let you know how it pans out. But it was interesting just to see how they're starting to tie all this, after it's because it's been like 6-8 months now since the whole acquisition took place.
Right.
So now that
I guess we can call this the SCU.
The Simpsons Cinematic Universe?
Yeah.
Well, no, because it's still television, so it's more,
The STU?
STU, yeah. So, and speaking of Simpsons, I'll give a little tease to our audience. We are actually going to, in the near future, be doing a full-on deep dive into The Simpsons. So if you guys have anything you want us to specifically talk about, send over some stuff. Tweet at us, shoot us messenger on Facebook, whatever. Shoot an email, PodAskew@gmail.com, and let us know what you want us to talk about. Now, we have a special guest that's going to join us for that, but that will remain a surprise. So, but anyway. So I think it's going to be fun. I'm real. That's of the things that you and I know we have planned. That's one of the ones I'm really looking forward to, honestly.
Me too.
It's going to be fun. But anyway, back to tonight. Tonight, as you mentioned, is Harry Potter and part 2 of our drinking game in the books. So,
right. So you want to explain that?
Yeah. So if you haven't listened to part 1, and I forget what we called the thing because we gave it some ridiculously long Harry PodAskew and the half-filled goblet of ridiculousness or something. I don't remember.
You were almost there. Harry PodAskew and the half-filled goblet of ridiculous.
Right. So if you've listened to that one, and as I said on our Twitter account, it was unintended. But if you listen to how many times Rico says the phrase in the books and do a shot, you're going to die. So
I'd like to also point out PodAskew is not all responsible for any alcohol poisoning you may acquire.
Yes, that's true.
From listening to our episodes of Harry Potter.
Yes. But I couldn't not mention that, buddy, because it was we never set out to do it, but when I went back and edited, I was like, holy shit. Like, really?
All right. So have your butter beers ready, have your fire whiskey ready, have whatever your fucking gilly weed that you're going to smoke up, whatever you're going to do.
Yeah, by the way, for people like Smoke, our buddy Midnight Smoke, because we know you're not a drinker anymore, by all means, man, rip one off every time he says in the books.
I think he may be the first person to die from marijuana, which I think he'll actually be okay with. He'll be like, that's how I want to go.
Well, yeah, maybe. But anyway, so you had some points you wanted to get to tonight, so why don't you go ahead and hit those?
Well, my first question is based on our conversation last time. What do you think of the character Severus Snape? Do you think he's a hero?
Do I think he's a hero?
Yes.
No, because but he's certainly not a villain. I think at best he's probably an anti-hero.
Okay. Do you think he deserves all the recognition of like for example, Harry names one of his fucking kids Albus Severus, which first off, Harry, why the fuck you do that to your boy? That is a stupid ass name. It's a bad name.
Yeah, it wasn't good naming.
No, not even close. It's a really bad name. And I gotta wonder, like, if Ginny was like, really, Harry? Like, he's my kid too. Can we fucking pick like Arthur for Christ's sake?
Right, something.
After my fucking dad, like,
or the brother that died at least.
Well, the other twin chose that name. Like, they can't use that name because then there'd be 2 fucking Georges.
Oh, I don't remember the twins' kids, so my bad.
Fred had George, and he had another one because he married Angelina Johnson. I don't remember what the daughter's name is.
Okay.
But anyways, the recognition is Harry was like, Albus Severus Potter, you were named after 2 headmasters of Hogwarts. One of them was a Slytherin, and he was probably the bravest man I ever knew. Okay.
Right, because, and that's why I think he's an anti-hero, because he's certainly not the villain, but he's certainly not, he's not the traditional hero for sure. Do you know what I mean?
I'm just, there's too many negatives to outweigh the positive. Yes, he was a secret agent. Yes, he, was under Voldemort's not nose the entire time. And
Right.
Voldemort didn't know that Snape was a double agent for Dumbledore.
Right.
That being said, I will say Snape is a fascinating character, but he was also just an overall fucking bully. And I have a big problem with bullies.
Wait, who is the bully? I'm sorry.
Snape.
No,
You want my reasoning?
I mean, you can, but I'd like, because I have a feeling what I have to say is not going to be as long.
No, I want to hear your opinion.
No, I know you do. I know you care. but no, because I don't look, and we talked about this a little bit last time. Like, to me, see, I guess it depends on what part of Snape's life you're looking at. Because in my opinion, and we talked about it last week, like I said, Harry's father was more the bully when they were there than Snape was, by a great margin,
James was definitely an arrogant fuck. And
a
he
bit of a
definitely
bully.
He definitely bullied Snape, specifically Snape.
Right. So,
But Snape also didn't have any problem with cursing James.
Yeah, but is that bullying or is that defense? Do you know what I mean? Because as someone, and I'm not saying you, but so I'm not saying you weren't, is what I'm trying to say. But as someone who was bullied quite a bit in middle school, sometimes you react or you retaliate, and I don't feel like that made me a bully because I'm going after my bullies. Like I didn't pay it forward, if you will, to somebody else. I took it out on the people who were doing it to me.
Well, okay, there is also the classic thing of like the people that are bullying hate their own life. And we saw that with Snape. Well, at least I fucking did. Because Snape, all right, look.
You get a little bit of that from the movie. Shot number 1.
I'm just going to make it a double. In the books.
That's a triple.
Okay, all right. Are you guys all still with us? Okay. Snape is a half-blood. And his father, from what I remember, is not a wizard. His name is Tobias Snape.
Okay.
His mother is Eileen Prince. Hence the name, the Half-Blood Prince. Because they don't say that. Or no, they do. They do at the end of Half-Blood Prince where they explain it, like why Snape was known as the Half-Blood Prince. But it's very fleeting. And it's kind of like if you aren't paying attention, you're like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah, I think I missed that, to be fair.
So it's a play on the fact that, he's not half-blood. He is a half-blood prince. It sounds more regal and royal and noble and shit.
Sure.
Yes, James Potter was an arrogant fuck. But Snape was like that asshole who joined the white supremacists. You know what I mean?
Wait, Snape was?
Snape joined the Death Eaters.
Yeah, but didn't he, unless I'm missing something, didn't he join to spy?
No. He joined the first time when Voldemort was still first in power. And then he realized, and this is where the whole prophecy is important, because they really don't touch upon it enough. Snape has always been in love with Lily Potter. We know that.
Right. That's established, if you will.
But he also became horrible to her. When he joined the Death Eaters, even in high school, and I mean the Death Eaters in like Lucius Malfoy, when they were all in Hogwarts,
right?
There was still that gang of Slytherin that was like really kind of obsessed with the dark arts,
sure,
and that were sort of they knew they were gonna join up with Voldemort when they were done with Hogwarts. They knew that. And so at one point, Snape calls Lily a mudblood.
Okay. Did we see that? Because I don't recall.
No.
Okay.
So and he instantly regretted it, but he still said it. It would be like I'm in love with a black woman, and then in a fit of rage calling her the N-word. It's like, you only said that because of the ideologies that you believe. And she points that out to him. She's like, you said it because you believe in those words. Just because you're attracted to me doesn't mean I should be any different. You want to put me in such high regard because you want to fuck me and you love me. But really, like, if you weren't attracted to me, you and your gang would try to make sure that I was either dead or bullied or out of Hogwarts based on ideology.
Right.
So, and then, so then he finds out that Voldemort is going to kill a child because there was a prophecy, and he only heard part of the prophecy, which is what that whole orb in the movie and book Order of the Phoenix, the one that they all go to the Ministry of Magic to try and find, and Harry picks up the orb and a prophecy is revealed to him.
Yeah.
Okay. So in the books, there's another one who's part of the prophecy that they really don't touch on in the movies. It's Neville Longbottom.
Oh.
See? So Neville's parents, just like Harry's parents, Frank and Alice Longbottom, were in the original Order of the Phoenix with James and Lily. They fought Voldemort just like James and Lily did. And they suffered a fate worse than death, ultimately. They were tortured beyond, to the point of even beyond insanity by Bellatrix Lestrange.
Okay.
Helena Bonham Carter's character.
Right, yeah, I remember her.
So that whole point where Bellatrix recognizes Neville and says, Longbottom, is it? And she has this sort of grin on her face. That's why.
Okay, that makes sense.
So the prophecy didn't specifically name Neville or Harry. It said a child that was born in July, and both of his parents had attacked or had fought against Voldemort 3 times, will be the Dark Lord's adversary. It'll be his true equal. So Voldemort had a choice. He chose to mark who would be his ultimate nemesis. But he chose Harry because he chose the half-blood like himself. Voldemort was half-blooded.
Right. You told me that off air. So
right.
For our audience who's not familiar with the concept, yeah.
Right. So he's the ultimate. Well, no, we did talk about on the episode.
Did we? Okay.
Yeah, because I was like, it would be like if Hitler was saying he was full on Aryan, but
yes. I do
yeah.
remember that.
So it's the same thing. Voldemort is screaming pure-blooded supremacy, but he's half-blooded. But he keeps that shit quiet. But he specifically chose Harry because Harry was half-blooded. Or, I don't know if it's specifically, but he had a choice. It was a 50-50 draw. I mean, in other words, the whole series could have just been called Neville Longbottom and the whole fucking, series.
It doesn't have the same ring to it.
It's the name Longbottom, man. It is not like...
Even Neville doesn't exactly have it doesn't roll off the tongue like Harry Potter.
It definitely sounds the most English, I'll give you that.
That's for fucking sure, yeah.
But, and then, if you notice, so Neville is the comic foil. He is...
Sorry, I just had a funny thought that had nothing to do with what you were saying. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, what is it?
I had this vision of Henry writing a new script and it being Henry Potter.
Henry Potter and the long lost Potter that no one knows about.
Yeah, or something. Yeah, and yeah.
Henry Potter and the golden toilet.
Oh man. Okay.
So Neville is a fucking klutzy, chubby, forgetful kid, right? In the first couple books. And then he becomes super confident and is able to actually do spells and he becomes the second leader of Dumbledore's army, which is the after-school program that they fucking do.
And I would agree that that's kind of how they played it out in the movie. At least that's how it felt to me in the movie. Like, I know Ron's always kind of been like the number 2 to Harry in terms of just like being his best friend, but in terms of like who was leading that group, I would have gone Neville right after Harry first. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
There was something I was going to say about that, like actual not important, but like relevant. Now I lost it. All right, go ahead. If I remember it, yeah.
So the main reason why is because he's got an over-dominating grandmother.
Yes.
His father's mother.
I remember that. And I do remember what I was going to say, but finish your point first.
No, go ahead.
Well, no, I was just going to say, because like, remember when I said to you, and it's slightly different than what I've from before, but remember when I told you I got the actor who played Hagrid and the actor who played Mad-Eyed Moody confused?
Yeah.
The actors, not the characters, but the actors who played each role.
Yes.
This is not an actor confusion, but when I went back to watch these for the first recording, I actually got Neville, and confused isn't even the right word, but blended with the guy who was always blowing shit up. I thought that was Neville, though. Do you know what I mean?
So no, you're thinking of Neville and Seamus Finnegan.
Right. I got it sorted out by the end of the time to record the first one we did last week, but I'm just saying, like, when I went into it, I was thinking Neville was the one who was like, blowing stuff up.
Which, by the way, like, Seamus doing that was really not a thing in the books. There's your other shot.
It's just a visual gag.
It was a visual gag, but then they dragged it out all the way to like Deathly Hallows Part 2.
Okay.
Anyways, it was just a weird thing. One of the random things that they did was they added remember the kid Colin who has the camera in Chamber of Secrets, the one who gets petrified. He's like always following Harry around.
Oh yeah. I do remember him.
Remember where the fuck he went?
He just kind of disappeared, I felt like.
Exactly. But you know what's really fucked up is he's got a younger brother who goes to Hogwarts named Dennis. Now, instead of keeping Colin and Dennis through the series, they made another character named Nigel, who is that young kid in the Dumbledore's army that Harry teaches.
Well, I mean, if you want to talk about characters, they seem to come out of nowhere. And if I understood Deb correctly, and I might be wrong, so if I'm wrong with what I'm about to say, it falls on me, not Deb, because she knows what she's talking about. But I want to just put that out there for the audience. But Luna fucking came out of nowhere.
Yes and no. Luna came out of nowhere in kind of the books and the movies.
Okay, so it happens in both formats then.
Yeah, but even then, it's sort of like hard to imagine that Harry, Ron, and Hermione have interacted with the other students before. It's not like they can't interact with Ravenclaws or Hufflepuffs or Slytherins.
Sure.
You would. It was kind of like.
Well, what house was she in? Did I miss something?
Ravenclaw.
I thought she was a Griffin. Oh, I see. I thought she was a Gryffindor.
No, she's in Ravenclaw. J.K. Rowling describes her, and I kind of have to agree, as the anti-Hermione. Because Hermione is all logic. And Ravenclaws are known for being exceptionally witty, but they're also the ones that can think outside the box. Whereas Hermione doesn't. She picks up the fucking book and studies it religiously, and is intelligent, but is only able to kind of regurgitate what she's read. Whereas, like, for example, in order to get into the common room for Gryffindor, it's a simple password, right?
Right.
In order to get into the Ravenclaw common room, you have to solve a riddle.
The same riddle every time? I guess it's a different riddle, though, I would think.
It's every week. It's not even like every month, like how Gryffindor does it. It's like, you've got to do it. You've got to be smart enough to get into your fucking house.
Okay. By the way,
you have to think outside the box. It's not even like this is the answer. It's like if you give a convincing enough explanation to back your answer, even if it's wrong, then the thing will say, well worded. Like, that's a well worded answer. It's wrong, but I'll still allow you in. So it's like, you just got to be fucking witty as balls to get in.
So, okay, real quick, just related but adjacent. I just had an idea. Before we finish this thing, I want to play a game with you involving the houses, but I don't want to get into the details right now. Just remind me of that before we end, and I'll get into it then.
I feel like I'm about to fucking partake in Saw or some shit.
No. This'll be fun. I think. I hope anyway. So yeah, go ahead.
No, I mean, a lot of this is like going back to Snape. It's really hard for me to disacknowledge that he definitely was brave. Like, what he was doing was really, really fucking brave. But at the same time, I can't help but have such disdain for the fucking man for what he did for Neville. Let me put it this way. You remember what the Boggarts are?
Yeah. The crazy things that comes out of, well, they came out of the mirror in Lupin's class and they form into whatever your biggest fear is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you remember what Neville's is?
It was Snape dressed up like his grandmom, if I recall.
Well, no, it was Snape, and then it became...
Oh, that's right. When he did the Riddikulus, he turns into his grandmom. Yeah.
So let me put it this way. Neville's parents were tortured past insanity by Bellatrix Lestrange. They fought against Voldemort, and Voldemort, for the most part, would be the thing that most wizards, especially purebloods, would fear above all. But the one thing on this fucking planet that scared Neville most of all was Snape. Like a chemistry teacher.
Yeah.
Think of that for 1 second. Did you have a chemistry teacher in high school?
No. Well, I mean, there was one in the school, but I didn't take chem, so
okay.
Yeah.
Was there a teacher that you just fucking didn't like and they didn't like you and they were mean as shit to you?
Honestly, no, but I get the point you're making.
Okay. I'm just saying, imagine that there was an adult that scared the shit out of you. And you had to see this adult 3 or 4 times a week, and not to mention see them on a semi-regular basis if they were roaming the same fucking halls as you.
Right.
Imagine that's the most... Now imagine your parents were fucking, like, driven insane from torture, and they were still alive, and you had to visit them once a month to see that they were empty-ass shells of their former glory.
See... Yeah, and I get all the points you're making, so I'm not discrediting them, but I'm going to sound like I'm changing subjects, but I'm not, so just bear with me a second. But did you ever see Valkyrie with Tom Cruise?
Yes.
Okay, because I know you're not a big fan of Cruise, so I wasn't sure. But
well, I saw it once, so I won't be able to remember tremendously.
But do you remember the overall concept?
Yeah, a German officer who infiltrates fucking Nazism to take down and try and kill Hitler, right?
And actually has a group by the end of it. I think there's like 4 or 5 of them. But yeah, that's you got the basic premise, which is the point that I'm trying to get to. I feel like Snape was like the Valkyrie in this, in this setup. So you have to do some shit that maybe you don't agree with to, it's like any undercover cop or federal agent that goes undercover. Like, sometimes they have to do some shit. Maybe not illegal shit, but they have to do some shit that would go against their character to fit in with the,
But to a child?
Well, yes, but we're dealing with a world of children here where I get the point. Again, I get the point you're making, but I'm just saying, like, we're dealing with children and that whole thing too,
I understand that, but like, I have to keep cover. But here's the thing. He's at Hogwarts where, like, he can kind of be a little fucking nicer. Like, ignore Neville for 1 second.
Sure.
Go to just how he treats Harry. Yes, he saves his fucking life in Sorcerer's or Philosopher's Stone. Like, when he's trying to do the counter curse against Quirrell fucking with the broomstick.
Right.
He's still a dick to him for 7 fucking years. Never once did he say, listen, Harry, I'm a piece of shit to you, but I just need you to come in my office and I'll explain everything. Never once. All this shit could have been fucking solved with a fucking owl.
Well, wait a minute. Let's if you wanted to get into this is why we're doing part 2 here. So let's get into this for a minute, right? Because you have to look at it from a couple different perspectives. And I'm not defending Snape here. I'm just saying, like, you have to look at all angles before you come to a final conclusion. And so, like, you look at it from the fact that, as we've already talked about, Harry's father was a real shithead to Snape. So, I mean, that's...
Right.
Doesn't mean that it's right to pass it on, but it makes logical sense, too. Do you know what I mean? Something can make logical sense and not be right, you know?
I understand that, but that's not Harry's fucking fault.
Well, no, it's not. But
and here's the thing: he regarded Lily as the ultimate love that he never had, and he sees Harry, who looks exceptionally like the tormentor of his years, as a reminder that he missed out on the thing that he cared about the most.
Yeah,
to the point where his Patronus is a doe. You know, when you look at Snape, you think, oh, his animal Patronus thing is going to be a snake or a bat or something creepy and slimy.
We talked about this last time. You brought all that up.
Right. But then the night that fucking the Potters were killed and Harry's got that fucked up cut on his forehead.
Right.
Snape goes there and finds the wreckage and steps over James's body, ignores Harry, and holds Lily's corpse in his arms. He doesn't I gotta get this kid out of here. Voldemort might come back. Because he doesn't know why Voldemort's gone.
Well,
he just...
Is it expanded on in the books, Enjoy, that...
Well, it's nice to be not the one who's contributing to liver failure. I'm glad it's you for once.
No, I actually specifically set the rules that it's only when you say it, honestly. But
all right, don't drink yet.
Yeah, don't drink yet.
All right, fuck it. In the books, there's your drink.
There you go. But in the books, do they expand on Snape's backstory some more? Do you get more of his childhood? Because I get the impression, based on the way Rickman played him and the way he's portrayed in the movies, that he had a really shitty childhood. And I'm not even talking about James picking on him. I mean, overall.
Yeah, like I said, his father was abusive, but not to the point where, it never was implied that he was beaten, but it was implied that his dad was an angry-ass dude and always yelled at their mother.
So are we on par with the Dursleys in the way they treat Harry, or is it worse, do we think?
It's never that explicitly stated, but it shows, Snape is living in sort of the dodgy part of England. He lives near Lily Evans.
I'm sorry, that immediately took me to Love Actually for some reason.
Well,
no, dude. Look, we're gonna go all over the place like we always do. But do you remember? Do you know where it takes me to in that movie, or no?
Where?
When Hugh Grant's character, the Prime Minister, whose name escapes me right now, David, is trying to find Natalie after she's already been fired.
Oh, the dodgy end? And
he's like, where's the dodgy end? Yeah, I'm sorry, the way you said it just made me think of that.
Well, I was pulling out the British way.
No, I get where you were going, but it just, for whatever reason.
We in America would say, the other side of the tracks.
Yeah, exactly. I know what the term means, but it immediately made me think of that moment.
But yeah, it is kind of like he lived in the village over. It was called Spinner's End, I think is what it's called. And yeah, he the very first thing he does when he meets Lily is he causes, even though he's 10 years old, they could still control some magic. And Snape is not a weak wizard.
No, just because he teaches potions doesn't mean he's a bad or not a powerful wizard. Sure.
No. He's exceptionally powerful. I mean, no one his knowledge of the dark arts is probably only rivaled by Voldemort and by Dumbledore.
I felt like McGonagall had a pretty good grasp on it too.
But that's my point. Is that but he's also significantly younger than all of them.
Yeah, I would say the only person he's probably on. You never really get a good grasp on Hagrid's age, so it...
Actually, yeah. The Hagrid's age is sort of the pinnacle of how to find out what year Harry Potter is set in.
Okay,
so Hagrid got expelled in his 3rd year of Hogwarts.
Right. So
and Chamber of Secrets, the book and the movie,
3rd year.
Is 50 years to the day. There's 50 years of when the Chamber of Secrets has been opened.
Okay. Right.
So
right.
So that means Hagrid's 63.
Yeah, but see, what we don't know, I guess, is where that lies in giant years, because he's half giant.
No, he's 63.
Okay.
It doesn't. I mean,
well, no,
he
right.
may live longer.
Well, that's what I meant. Like just to give it a comparative thing. Like Chewbacca's 300 years old when you meet him in Solo. You know,
right?
So,
but he's full blood Wookiee. He's not half a Wookiee.
No, but still, you get the point. Like he's 300 fucking years old. So
right.
and that's still apparently young in Wookiee. So
okay, but Voldemort is 3 years older.
Okay.
So Voldemort. Voldemort would be 66 in Harry's 2nd year. So by the 7th book, he's 72?
Well, that's what he would be, but I think with the new body, he's probably closer to like 40.
Oh, that's an interesting point. His age would be 70, but the body looks about 45, something like that.
Right, because it's like a reformed. Yeah, I get where you're going, but I mean, you know.
But I mean, it's weird because then you're like, wait, Voldemort. That means Voldemort was born in 1927.
I'm trying to do the math, and my brain's not working.
That's considered canon because, like, Fantastic Beasts 1 is set in the same year. So when Grindelwald was coming back to power, was the year Voldemort was born.
Okay,
they're not connected.
No,
they have nothing to do with each other. But it's just a weird way of like, that's interesting.
Well, it's like we talked about when we did talk about Grindelwald, that not the character but the movie, that they have these little things that link the two series together, like the wand and the Sorcerer's Stone and those things. But yeah.
But going back to Snape, dude, I have a problem with what he did to help Harry was still a way of being like a douchebag. Like, you know, he still made, he was just a cruel man. And yeah, he was bullied as a child, but he still joined a fucking pureblood supremacy Death Eater group. He still became a Death Eater, which the implication means that while Voldemort was in power, Snape was fucking up Muggleborns. Like, he may have killed somebody.
Wait, but going back to your, the pureblood group, wasn't that under Dumbledore's direction?
No. He had already joined the Death Eaters.
Not the Death Eaters, the pureblood part that you were talking about.
No. It was just a clique. It was just a clique that, you know, Snape was looking for friends. And he was already put in Slytherin house. So obviously he's going to join up with Lucius Malfoy and Crabbe and Goyle's parents and maybe Bellatrix if she was there or some shit. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And then, you know, graduation, leaves Hogwarts. He just joined the Death Eaters. And then Dumbledore finds him. Or like Snape and Dumbledore meet in secret. And that's when he tells Dumbledore, like, the Dark Lord is going to try and kill a child. And he says, I'm convinced it's going to be Lily. Because, like, you have to protect them.
Right.
And then Peter Pettigrew betrays the Potters to Voldemort because he was their secret keeper. That's what it's called. It's a secret keeper. Like, he's the guy who knows where their location is.
Sure. And
if they go looking for it, they won't find him until he reveals their location, and then he can find them. Like, it's like the like a disillusionment charm where like they can look at the building, but unless they know that they're in there, they won't see them. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I do. Yeah.
So Pettigrew betrayed them to Voldemort. They got killed anyway. Boom. Start of the story. Snape goes back to Dumbledore and says, you were supposed to protect them. Why didn't you? It's like, well, it's not my fault. They fucking trusted some fat little fuck. Like, I can't do anything about it. And then he says, well, you want to make up for it? You want to make up for Lily's death? You got to join me and be, you know, my double agent for Voldemort. Yada, 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 yada.
Yeah,
but even still,
did he actually say yada 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 yada?
Oh yeah, dude, fucking the writer of Seinfeld fucking did a chapter. Larry David wrote all the double door dialogue. And then, but there's other parts where, I specifically have to say that I think Snape, if given the opportunity to bring back Lily, even if it killed Harry, would do it. He never gave a fuck about Harry. He didn't even give a fuck about taking down Voldemort. He just missed the girl he had a crush on, who didn't even fucking like him back. That's the thing. This was not like missed love,
right?
And that he ruined her. He ruined his chances with her because he called her a fucking, a wizard racial slur. She didn't love him back. They were just very close friends. But then she kept going to him and saying like, dude, I keep hearing that you're with these fucking group. Like, I hear you're thinking about joining the Death Eaters. How the fuck could you do that, Severus? And he's just like, I would never let them hurt you. It's like, that's not what, why would you join the fucking Nazis if you're in love with a Jew? What the fuck are you doing?
Right.
So the whole Snape, and I think Snape would not give a fuck because after Dumbledore died and after Sirius died, Snape went back to the headquarters, Grimmauld Place, the old black mansion. And he goes in there and he finds a photo of Harry as a baby, Lily, and James. He rips it in half, so it's only Lily, and then he keeps it for himself. Harry, when he goes back to Grimmauld Place to hide out, and now because technically it's his house, finds the photo ripped in half. He just sees him and his father as a baby, just thrown on the floor, but not one of his mother. He only finds out that Snape did that when he went in Snape's memories. And then we get that whole montage.
Right.
Snape is a little shit, and then he meets Lily. That's another point I want to make. The first thing that he does when he meets Lily is he hurts Petunia, Harry's aunt. He causes a branch to fall and smack her on the head.
She kind of deserves it, but that's beside the point.
But that's whether anyone doesn't matter how if Petunia fucking deserves it or not. The first act he does to quote unquote impress Lily is to be an abusive dick.
Yeah, but how old was he?
10.
Okay, come on now.
Did he get any better?
No.
There is one point in Potions where he is bullying Neville so much that Neville's trying to create a potion, and Snape says, "Okay, we're gonna test your potion at the end of class on your toad, and if your toad dies, then so be it." Think about that.
I don't remember that.
Of course you don't, because it's in the books.
Oh. Shot.
That's what I'm saying, is they made Snape more of a hero in the movies than they did in the books. In the books, you can sympathize with him. Like, we can all, to a certain degree, sympathize with a bully. But, I mean, yeah, his dad was abusive. Yeah, he was poor. Yeah, he got sidled with the fucking, hate group. But he's still not an idiot. He still chose to learn the dark arts, and he still joined Voldemort. And that was before he became a double agent. I'm just saying, Snape doesn't deserve this fucking recognition, dude.
Well, I mean, I didn't sit here and sing his praises last time. No.
And I'm not saying you are, but there's that whole thing. I've gotten into fucking legit arguments about people, and they look at Snape as this romantic figure, especially with the line "always." Okay, yeah, you always were obsessed with a fucking redhead. That doesn't necessarily mean you're a good person.
Right.
Well, the only thing was missing was Snape fucking stalking Lily. That was the one thing that would up his creep factor, even though he's infinitely creepy.
All right then. So,
I just, it would have been. I would have liked for there to be a closure scene for Harry to be when Snape is dying, he tells Harry, "Look at me." And it's not because like it's any significance apart from the fact he's just like, I just want the woman's who has the exact same fucking eyes that this little fucking, bespectacled fucking little fuck has to look at me so that he can trick himself as he's close to death to be like, she's looking into my eyes. Like it's okay. But I kind of want Harry to like go to Snape's portrait because, every headmaster gets a portrait and they could talk and move and shit.
Right.
Like
right.
Harry goes to Dumbledore's portrait after Dumbledore's dead and has a fucking conversation with him. I would love there have been a fucking portion where Harry goes to Snape and say, "Hey, so let's talk about you know what it would have been like? He's like when Peter Parker's talking to Happy and he's like, we need to have a really serious talk about you and my butt."
Right. Yeah. I gotta watch that
like,
movie again. I love that sequence.
But Harry just being like, "So how often did you jerk it to my mom?" Because
ew, come on, dude. That's just wrong.
Oh, that's fucking wrong?
A little bit.
We're talking about fictional characters.
Thank you,
Okay.
Ben. Or Holden.
He's holding that, McNeil.
Yeah. Oh. Anyway, should we?
But yes, that's the significance of Neville. That he was almost the boy who lives, but in the meantime, he was bullied beyond insanity by fucking severely snapped.
All right then.
But
actually, I just remembered another sequence where he kind of. I don't know if he's protecting Harry as much as just kind of punishing Draco, but there's this sequence where Harry and Draco are standing on the table having the duel, like it was a planned thing, like everyone's standing around watching it, and Draco makes a snake appear out of nowhere. And then, which by the way, I don't think I mentioned this last time, but JK's fucking obsession with snakes, fuck her. But anyway, and then Snape actually destroys the snake.
But if you remember, he whispered in Draco's ear to do the spell.
I don't. And I'm not saying it didn't happen. I don't remember.
Like, yes, he did do that, but it's kind of like... He did do that, but it's kind of like him giving Draco a gun, and then like Draco shoots at Harry, and then Snape's like, "Oh, well, here, I'll just give you some bandages and I'll heal you up."
Well, it's like, better than making his shit disappear.
Oh God. But we also should talk. You said that you fucking thought the Horcruxes were stupid.
I don't know.
I'm going to ask you this, and it's not meant to be insulting, but
sure.
The fuck is your problem?
Thanks, buddy. No, because by the time the Horcruxes became a thing, it stopped being to me. It stopped being Harry Potter a little bit, and while it was still Harry Potter and the characters and magic and all that stuff, it felt like. It felt like Indiana Potter and the Last Crusade. Like, I mean, like it started like that kind of thing as opposed to all the stuff they had set up to that point.
It was a giant scavenger hunt.
Yeah, and there was no school. I mean, yeah, they do end up back at Hogwarts for the battle, but like it's not. You know what I mean? Like
No, not really. Because here's the thing: the Horcruxes had already been established in the series. I don't just mean in the books. I mean in the movies. The diary is a Horcrux.
Right, but you don't
Just because we don't know doesn't necessarily mean like we find out later.
I think it would have been better if they had been destroyed naturally. And what I mean by naturally is like, Harry stabs the diary
with a basilisk fang,
right? Yeah. At that time, because it was useful to do that for the battle he was fighting.
But even then, he didn't know.
Well, that's my point. That's the point I'm making. Like,
so you're saying he should have accidentally killed the Horcruxes,
or at least most of them. You know what I mean? Like,
or like he killed them and then been like, oh, all those things that I fucking destroyed in the past 6 years, I just have one more left. Is that what you're kind of saying?
Something like that. Yeah, you know what I mean?
But like, some of them they had to like have out. Like here, the whole point of the Horcruxes.
Yeah. By the way, what is it? Horcruxes, or is it Horcry? What is this? What is the plural for Horcrux?
Horcruxes. You're a Horcrux. But the whole reason why Harry is constantly having to find the Horcruxes is because he is one.
Well, I get that.
But that's the most important
And that's even
thing.
bullshit because he says he has to die, if you recall.
No, he doesn't have to die.
No. They say...
Oh, at the end, yeah.
Yes, he has to die, they say, for that Horcrux to be destroyed.
Yeah,
right?
it has to kill the part of Voldemort inside him.
Right. And they say a couple of different times he has to die. Those words are uttered by at least 3 different characters.
2.
Okay, fine. He does not die at all.
He does die.
No, he does not. Because even the part where they think he dies, he's nodding and breathing. And you see it. They zoom in on it.
That's the point. When he's in the King's Cross thing with Dumbledore...
Before they even show that, they zoom in on his face and he's still functioning.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
It's after.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Okay.
Voldemort fucking Avada Kedavra's his ass, and then Harry wakes up in a fucking white, immaculately clean King's Cross in his own dream state.
And right before they go to that sequence, they zoom in on his face, and his eyes are twitching, and he's breathing.
No, because it's a giant white thing. It's a white flash. I'm
being argued at by 2 different sides here at the same time.
Well, listen to me, motherfucker. I can't hear her point, even though I'm sure she's agreeing with me.
She is agreeing with you.
Okay, so 2 against 1. You know how we know? Because it was in the book.
Well, that's not in the movie.
Okay, but you're also getting the movie wrong.
You're getting the movie wrong. You're the wrong movie.
Are you talking? Forgeticus. But no, dude. Look, regardless of whether who's right or who's wrong, I'm right, you're wrong. It doesn't matter. He still died, but he was able to go back because the only thing that really killed that really died was the Horcrux part of him, and it was really ultimately Voldemort's soul that latched on him. Voldemort basically committed suicide or Horcruxicide. Hold
on, Deb's overheard this and she wants to put her 2 cents in. So
great.
What happens is he does the resurrection stone 3 times in his hand. He drops. He gets killed by Voldemort. Then they go to the heaven sequence with Dumbledore. Then he goes back, and then that's when you see him shake his head yes that Malfoy is okay to his mother.
Afterwards. Yeah, afterwards, after he comes back.
I say go watch it again. He doesn't actually die.
He does.
No. He goes unconscious, but he does not die.
No. He nods to Narcissa Malfoy to tell her that Draco's okay after he comes back after the conversation with Dumbledore. It's not before. It's not during. It's after. It's after Dumbledore said, you say you were in King's Cross. Well, motherfucker, get on a train and go back. He's like, of course it's in your head. That doesn't necessarily mean it's not real. And then, boom, we're back in the fucking Forbidden Forest. Voldemort's all fucked up and tripped over like an old-ass man. And he sends fucking Narcissa to go over, and she shakes his ass and says, is Draco still alive? He's like, fuck, bitch, I don't know. But no, he just nods his head. And then Hagrid picks his ass up and is too distraught to notice that he's holding a live dude who needs a fucking shave. I'm telling you, you saw the movies twice. I saw the movies 15 times. You're gonna always praise that I'm kind of the movie expert. You're not gonna take my fucking word for it, dude.
No.
What the fuck?
I don't know, man. I just, yeah, I don't know. I
Well,
didn't
how
like
else do you think how I mean you don't like the concept of like scavenging for Horcruxes, but would you just prefer that Voldemort was just insanely powerful, but he wasn't like you didn't have to kill 7 fucking things in order to kill him eventually?
That would have probably been a better way to go. Yeah.
But then how the fuck does he become like a ghosty fucking thing? That's the whole point. They introduced that at the beginning of the series that
Okay, well then you do 1, not 7.
But that's the point, is that 7 is a significant number for there's 7 fucking books.
37's a significant number 2, then they're all in a row, all right? So get over it.
Okay, but if Voldemort sucked 37 dicks, then this would have been a really more interesting conversation. Is that how he slithers in?
Yeah, exactly. Christ.
Slither in that Gryffindor? Ugh.
Yeah. Because you're now making it sound like I didn't like the movies, and that's not the case. I just had,
No. I'm not saying you didn't like the movies. I'm just saying that I know more about this than you do.
Clearly.
That's all I'm trying to say. All I have to do is say, yeah, all right, I'll take your word for it. Not fight me on shit.
Podcast?
Okay. We can move on, but I mean, because we didn't fucking even touch the play. Now,
I know nothing about the play.
Okay,
I don't even know the concept.
I never saw the play, but I read I read basically everything on Wikipedia, and I skimmed a little bit of the book. I started reading the book version of the play. It's fucking bad, dude. And it really, you want to talk about like, you and I can argue about was Snape a hero or not, but then like we read what fucking J.K. Rowling did to fucking fuck up what happens almost 20 years after like this whole thing happens. It's so fucking just, it's like, you know how Endgame is great, even though it deals with time travel, and time travel could fuck up any good story?
Yeah.
Okay, it's the bad part of like, what if Endgame was really shitty with the time travel?
Right, I hear you. Yeah.
Okay, so remember that time turner thing that Hermione has in the 3rd year, where they go back in time and fucking retrace their steps?
Vaguely, yes.
Okay, so those have all been outlawed and shit, but there's like one super duper one that like Harry's son, who gets sorted into Slytherin, and he becomes best friends with Malfoy's son, Scorpius. That's a fucking name.
Well, that's not that does not surprise me in that world, in that family.
Right, because they're all constellations. All their names are constellations. So Scorpius is a constellation name, but fucking Scorpius? Wow.
Well, right, but Harry's got 2 kids, so is it the one we were talking about earlier that gets sorted into that?
Albus Severus becomes a Slytherin.
Okay.
Now, Harry Potter becomes a fucking like total pain in the ass. Like he's yelling at his sons all the time. He's being a verbally abusive little shit.
Oh, good. So he's Snape.
Yeah, that's my point. Is like, and he's hitting like PTSD of Voldemort, but I'm like, it's really kind of very specific. This happened years after the fact. Like you would imagine it'd be still kind of fresh when he was a kid and shit. I don't know. And then Albus and Scorpius use the time turner and like go back in time to try and fix shit. And then of course shit goes wrong. Then they find this one random chick who turns out to be Voldemort's long lost fucking daughter.
Sure, because of course.
Because that's a thing, right? And so like before Bellatrix and Voldemort fucking died, they got together. Now imagine that shit.
Wait, say who that again?
All right. Ray Fiennes without a nose fucks Tim Burton's ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. that no, I'm not stunned by that in any way.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not stunned by it, but just think about it. I'm just imagining like the line that Ray Fiennes says, like, "I can touch you now."
That's funny. That's funny.
So they have a long lost kid who is the heir of Slytherin again, and Harry realizes what his fucking kids are, like his kids doing, and he has to team up with Malfoy, and they have to go back in time, and they get an opportunity to stop his parents' death, to stop Voldemort from fucking killing him and getting the scar on his head. But he says, this is how life has worked out. I need to appreciate what I have now. And it's really fucked up. Like, he's standing outside, and apparently the glow of the Avada Kedavra curses. He's fully aware his parents are dying in front of him. That's a fucked up part.
A little bit.
But then there's a part where, because the kids kept fucking with time, Cedric Diggory, fucking Robert Pattinson,
yeah,
becomes a Death Eater. And I'm like, JK, did you fucking read your books? Like, you took, like, one, he's a Hufflepuff. Not saying a Hufflepuff can't become a Death Eater, but Cedric Diggory was like the one thing a Death Eater would not be. So to like really shit and fuck with a character really was just like, wow, no fucking wonder this is not a book. Like, did JK do this or that other motherfucker do this?
Right.
I'm sure the play is phenomenal, because like most well-done plays are usually going to be great. Spider-Man Into the Dark, I heard, had great reviews, even though it had a lot of fucking problems. I still would have loved to have seen a fucking dude in spandex swing the fuck around.
Right.
But like, I mean, there's a reason why, like, and people like to say like, oh, well, you have to accept it for what it is. No, you don't. You have to acknowledge that it exists, but you don't have to accept it in the fucking canon, especially since J.K. Rowling didn't write the fucking thing.
Fair.
You know, she approved it. I'm not going to go as far and say like, oh, it's The Last Jedi, because it's really not part of it. I accept The Last Jedi is part of the Star Wars franchise. I ain't happy about it, but I accept it.
Right.
You know, I accept that there's other religions that I don't agree with.
You don't agree with any religion. What are you talking about?
What?
You don't agree with any religion.
I agree with a religion that is at least honest with themselves.
Well, that's a whole nother conversation. But yeah.
Right. You know, but like I can not like things and acknowledge that they exist. I don't have to like them though.
Sure.
But and I sort of think that's what my problem is that Snape is so like Snape and Voldemort and all these fucking characters that we've been talking about again were so exquisitely written by J.K. Rowling. Whether you like her writing or not, or her politics, or her personal fucking beliefs, she could flesh out a character insanely well and make a villain really interesting. Voldemort is a really interesting guy.
And I don't want to get into a whole other separate discussion, but that's because I realized I mentioned something in the last episode that I don't know if I need to defend it. That's not the right word, but I feel like I need to explain it a little more. Because I mentioned Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand.
Mm-hmm.
And I mentioned it primarily because of the movie, and they made a trilogy out of the one book and recasted it for every movie.
Right.
Which is why I brought it up. But I am a huge fan of the book, not because I agree with Ayn Rand's politics, because I don't agree with her politics really at all. But to your point, and the only reason why I'm bringing it up is because to your point about J.K. Rowling, she can flesh out a character, whether it be villain or hero, very, very well. And she's a great writer, even if you don't agree with the politics. So, you know, I enjoyed the story, but not the necessary. Anyway, I just felt the need to defend myself a little bit from that.
No. I mean, the best way to explain it is that people are fucking awful. It doesn't matter if they make your story nice and chippy or dark and moody. There could be awful fucking people everywhere, dude. Like Stephen King is an amazing writer, whether you like horror books or not, but I wouldn't want to sit next to him.
True. And
like, not because I don't agree with him. I think he's actually like, I agree with a lot of his politics and shit like that. But no, that dude will fucking scare the hell out of me.
Yeah, he's a creepy motherfucker. So
all Red Sox fans have to be fair.
Yeah, I guess you can say that.
I can say that.
You can say that, yes. Did you have anything else you want to say about the book? Because like I said, I had, or about the franchise as a whole.
That I had.
What's that?
The bitch fits that I have. No,
yeah,
I don't have anything else. Let's. I want to play a game.
All right. So, and this just came to me, so we're gonna flush this out as we go. But I'm gonna make you the Sorting Hat
You're gonna make me the Sorting Hat.
Yes, since you seem to know the most about this stuff, and I mean that sincerely. I'm not even busting balls. And I want you. We're gonna try to expand this as far as we can take it, but we'll start here. So I want you to sort me, Deb, and Staff.
Okay.
And not in any particular order. You do it however it hits you.
Well, let me start with myself. That way I can get the sort of like...
Okay, sure.
Okay.
I didn't know if we should have you in or not, so I said no, but I'm not objecting either.
Well, I'm the fucking hat with a brain. I think I can, be a deciding vote of whether I'm in or not.
Sure.
I have always kind of, like, when you read the books and watch the movies, people usually kind of automatically want to be Gryffindor because Harry Potter's a Gryffindor. All the main characters are more or less Gryffindor. Gryffindors are kind of big-headed, too. So I acknowledge that I can be stubborn and arrogant, but I ultimately want to see the good in people. So I've always kind of leaned towards Hufflepuff, which are always kind of like they're the, guys, what are you fighting for? Let's all get along, right?
Right.
And they're kind of like chubby, and they kind of want to always just eat and like, hey, let's like hang out and fucking have cookies. Let's just talk it out, guys.
Robert Pattinson wasn't exactly chubby, but okay, fair enough.
But he was at least a smiley motherfucker.
Fair.
So that being said, I think I would put you in Gryffindor. Okay. Because, and I think a lot of it is because, well, yes, Slytherin is sort of the racist fucking one. You don't really have that, but you are prejudiced like we all are to a certain degree.
Yeah, but then you could put everybody, by that logic, you put everybody there. So that's not.
Well, no. But there's a difference between like slightly prejudiced or weary around people and then being a fucking racist, or you're really like so you hate them because of that.
Are you saying that's what I am? Because that's what I'm coming across.
No. I'm saying that's why you're not in Slytherin, because you're not that.
No, okay. Fair enough.
And a good chunk of being a Gryffindor is you have to actually be brave. And I actually think of you as a pretty brave guy.
Thanks, buddy. I know not nearly enough about this stuff as you do, but if I'd been asked a few times by other people just over time, where I would find myself. And I always for some reason felt like I belonged in Ravenclaw.
No, because you're not witty enough.
Fuck you!
No, remember what I explained? Like, do you like riddles?
Yeah, love riddles.
Are you actually like, would you prefer like to open up a fucking like, in order to get in your apartment, would you have to like do a riddle every week?
I don't think I'd mind that, actually. Yeah.
What if you like were working all day, you're stressed as fuck, and you were like, I just need to get inside, nuke some food, take a shit, watch some TV.
I think everybody would have days like that where they don't want to do a riddle, but I mean, that doesn't mean that I actually enjoy a good riddle.
Are you chill enough to do that?
I think so. Yeah.
Or would you prefer in those moments to be like, fuck that fat lady. I give like the fucking password is Cabot Draconis. Let me the fuck in. I got shit to do. No, instead of you're gonna be like, oh well, yeah. Let me explain this fucking riddle while I got, I'm holding 3 fucking bags of groceries and I got a gimp fucking leg.
Thanks.
I'm thinking as you. I'm a fucking Sorting Hat here, bitch.
I still think I fit over there, but that's me.
I mean, here's the thing: is that you can make that choice. You could tell me that you want to be in Ravenclaw.
No, I'm not telling you shit, motherfucker.
Well, okay.
All right. So where are you putting Steph?
Oh, I'm putting Steph in Hufflepuff with me. I don't want my girl to go anywhere near me, anywhere away from me. What are you frowning for? You don't want to be in Hufflepuff?
Wow.
Okay. All right. If I'm actually looking at her and I'm being honest and I'm not being selfish, I'm like, then she would be in Ravenclaw.
Okay.
And yeah, she's a Ravenclaw. Is like if you think like Steph, then yes, CJ, you belong.
I do. Ask Steph; she'll tell you I do.
Okay. Do you think CJ thinks like you? Okay. Well, motherfucker, you're in Raven. Why am I the Sorting Hat when she knows this shit?
I don't know.
She knows people better than I do. I could just say, "Oh, you're just a dick, so you're gonna go to Slytherin."
All right, this one might be tough, but try Deb.
I mean, fuck, everyone's going to Ravenclaw. She can go to Ravenclaw too.
No, I honestly, if I was picking, I'd probably throw her over in Hufflepuff, I think.
I mean, I thought of Hufflepuff too, but at the same time, but
all right.
What?
So we're gonna.
What?
Do you have a thirst to learn?
Do you have a thirst to learn?
Oh yeah.
All right, yeah, you belong in Ravenclaw. Does Debbie?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Okay, so it's 3 fucking Ravenclaws and 1 fucking Hufflepuff. I feel like the 5th Beetle.
All right, well we're gonna expand this a little bit now, and you can stop this anytime you want, buddy. I just thought it would be fun, so there's no
I'll do what I can. And for anybody who's listening to this and he names you and I name you the wrong fucking one, it's a fucking joke.
Yeah, it's a game. We're having fun, guys. You know we love you all. We love all of you.
Problems with it, you could tweet at us and be like, "I'm a Hufflepuff, motherfucker." I'm like, "All right, well, calm down, you braving bitch."
All right, so I'm giving you the one that's most likely to respond that way, or not in a fuck you kind of way, but definitely respond to this. Jay, where do we put Jay?
Jay's definitely, in my opinion, a Hufflepuff.
I think so too. No, actually, I think she's Gryffindor. My opinion would be she would be a Gryffindor.
Jay wants to make sure everybody's happy.
That's
Gryffindors
true.
Gryffindors do not give a fuck.
That's true. You're right. So, all right, I retract
Gryffindors want their friends. They don't want to piss off their friends. But a Hufflepuff will fucking, like, a Hufflepuff student will go up to Snape and be like, "Dude, are you good? Like, is there anything I can do to help you?"
Right. I got you. No, I got you. I retract my statement and I side with you. Okay. Rebecca.
I kind of see, you could do hybrids too. That you could do, like, I think you're kind of both of these. Which is why, like, if you go online and try and do the house sorting thing,
yeah,
and you answer the one question, it'll just be like, "Well, you're in Ravenclaw," and then you do the same exact thing a week later, like, "Nope, you're in Slytherin."
Right.
Now, there are good qualities for Slytherins. They do give a fuck about academics, and they do care about loyalty. My understanding with Rebecca is I think she would be a sort of hybrid of Ravenclaw and Slytherin.
I kind of have to go with you there, but if you're doing a percentage, it would be more Ravenclaw than Slytherin.
Agreed.
70,
like she would have some Voldemort's, like, she would have a Horcrux in her that would be kind of fucked with that. No one can do a convincing Harley Quinn impression without having some Slytherin in her.
I think I have to agree with that. I
think I know who the next one you're going to pick is.
Actually, I was going to go Mark.
Mark?
Yeah.
Oh, what?
You may not know, and look, it's fair, and it's a fair answer is I don't know the person well enough. That's a fair answer.
I don't know the person well enough, and I also kind of have a theory that he, like, is a fan of Harry Potter.
I don't know, actually. That's fair. I can ask him. I don't know.
I think I would if anything, I'd be more afraid of giving the wrong answer to him. Because my first reaction would be kind of like, I think he's kind of a Slytherin.
Without to your point about the hybrids, without he
would be the most confusing because he'd be a Gryffindor and a Slytherin.
Yeah,
it would be like supporting the Red Sox and the Yankees.
Because he certainly doesn't have the racism. That's for damn sure.
No.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, let me put it this way: the Slytherin doesn't have the pure-blooded racism bullshit. This is like years after Voldemort's been like a thing.
Right. Because obviously they put, to your point a few minutes ago, they put Harry's kid over there. So, I mean, come on.
They put Harry's kid, they put Voldemort's, and he's half-blood. So sometimes it's the pure-blooded bullshit. Although he was put in because he's a direct descendant of Salazar, Slytherin. So, like, that's
right. But, okay. So, I am trying to save some people for last, for what that's worth. So let's go. I want to go cat ears.
I don't know cat ears enough, but I can. She's a Gryffindor because she's friendly like a Hufflepuff, and she gives a fuck. But she will also call you out in your bullshit.
Yep.
Which a Gryffindor will fucking do.
Agreed. So
I think she is Hermione with the cat attached to her. You know,
Yeah.
Cat Ears is Hermione when she takes the fucking Polyjuice potion and turns into the cat.
Cat Ears is a young McGonagall.
Who is a Gryffindor.
Right.
There you
So
go.
there you go.
Love you, Cat Ears.
Yeah, of course. We love all these people. Come on. This is all good fun. Smoke.
Oh, 100% a fucking Hufflepuff.
You think so?
Oh my god, dude. I would be the one Hufflepuff that wouldn't be smoking pot. Dude, it's the name Hufflepuff.
True. I didn't think of it that way. Yep.
Smoke already has a smoke pun name. He'd be midnight smoking that Hufflepuff all fucking night.
Right.
Dude, he would be the one to be like, dude, our dormitories near the kitchens? That's fucking awesome.
Okay. April.
I'm gonna have to go with Ravenclaw.
Yeah, I think so too.
She looks like a Ravenclaw.
I agree.
Anybody who thinks outside the box and wants to work with horses, that's something that I would never in a million years think of. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Okay. Again, to all our friends that we're doing this is just for fun. We're having a good time with this because, like, we're going to pay for this one. We are going to pay for this one. Jessica. I know. I think I can do that one. If you can, I can. I think.
No, I've got it. She would be put in Slytherin, but would be furious. Like she would be that one who would yell at the hat and say, "Motherfucker, I belong in Ravenclaw."
Yeah. Okay. As long as that's where you were going with it, yes, I agree 1,000%.
And
yeah.
she would be yelling at all the other Slytherins, like, "Why the fuck am I here? You are also racist sons of bitches."
Yep.
And then they would kind of point out, like, you know what you kind. And I'm not saying Jessica is this, but they would point out her flaws that would kind of coincide with Slytherin's, and be like, "Well, you know, you're kind of bullheaded too." She's like, "The fuck I am."
Right, for sure.
And you know what? For that, I say la di da.
Let's see, who else can we go? I guess we have to do her partner in crime, Bethany, but I don't feel like you know her as well.
I don't know her as well, but I would put her in. You know what? I'll put her in Gryffindor, even though I don't know her that well.
I would have gone Hufflepuff, honestly. But that's
I put her in Gryffindor so that they could break that rule of having Slytherins and Gryffindors be really best friends.
Okay.
They would break that mold.
That's fair. I like that.
And they would,
I like
and everyone else would be looking at them and be like, how the fuck are they friends? They're so fucking different.
Yeah. Okay. Fumes.
Fumes I would put in Hufflepuff.
See, I think he's a Ravenclaw. I do. I think he even has a Ravenclaw, like, the scarf. Like, I think he actually...
You might be right. You might know him. You definitely know him better than I do.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think I mean, I'm not saying Ravenclaws are not friendly. I'm just saying I think Hufflepuffs are more friendly than the average people.
Oh, yeah, and Fumes is definitely friendly, but he's also very much into that analytical thinking, and I feel like that's where the Ravenclaw thing goes,
I think you have a point. I think anybody who actually, like, stares at a computer and video game and screen, as long as they do, they have to kind of think outside the box in order to solve problems like that.
Yeah, so that's why I put him there.
That's fair. I'll amend my statement.
Okay. I'm down to the last two I can think of. Is there anyone, and I know who they are?
Well, you tell me, and I'll see if there's anybody else that I was thinking of.
All right, Henry.
1 billion % Slytherin.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking the same thing.
1 billion, and again, not the racism,
sure,
nothing like that, none of that pure blood bullshit. But like Henry's got he's got the name to be in Slytherin.
Yeah.
Like Henry Wentworth sounds like a Slytherin ass name.
Yeah, I would agree.
Also, Henry, we love you, but you have got an ego as big as the fucking basilisk. Like the Chamber of Secrets isn't big enough to hold it.
Wow. Okay.
And there's nothing wrong with that because for the most part, you are talented and you are smart and you have a big, vast knowledge of film. And that's why you belong in Slytherin because you know it and you tell everyone it.
That's true.
When I have to counter and argue with CJ that I do know more about a certain movie than him, that's defense. You are a motherfucking cinephile on the offense.
Yes, that's
and
true.
If anyone has a problem with that, they become a character in your fucking scripts that die. That's a Slytherin thing to do.
There you go. I actually, you know what? I got to back up for a second from where I was going to go because I just thought of two more that I want to do first. And these are newer friends to the show, so I don't know that we can maybe do these, but we'll do our best. I want to go Ashley and Joe from Lilo Multiprops.
I think, they actually... Ashley for sure strikes me as a Gryffindor.
Yeah, I would agree.
I think Joe has got he'd be that hybrid. He'd be that Ravenclaw Slytherin.
I think you're right.
I think it would fuck. I think that alone would fuck with him, or me as to how be like, fuck it, you're in Gryffindor. Just like a Ravenclaw and a Slytherin creates a Gryffindor. Fuck it, you're in Gryffindor.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. All right. I think I've tapped out all of our friends except for one that I saved for last on purpose.
Right.
Maddie Granger.
Maddie Granger, I think he'd be in Ravenclaw. Personally.
I think he's a hybrid of Ravenclaw and Slytherin. Honestly,
I think I kind of would agree to that, but I think it would be absolutely hysterical. He's in Ravenclaw. And then everyone says, "Hey, Granger, are you related to Hermione?" He's like, "No."
Right.
And like, he would be that guy who would keep Hermione Granger's as his aunt as a secret.
See, the reason I do the hybrid Ravenclaw and Slytherin with him, and again for everyone we put in Slytherin, we think that none of you are racist in any way, shape, or form. But
no, we think of you as loyal, but not as loyal as Hufflepuff. We think of you as wanting to be insanely successful and having that drive force to do it.
But you're also, for me, look, and we've seen a lot of this lately on Twitter, so this is not me blowing up anyone's spot, but Maddie's very fucking angry.
Yeah.
And
although, Gryffindors tend to be the most vocal about their anger. They're a lion. Lions are fucking loud, roaring motherfuckers.
Yep, that's true. All right, well then I take back my Slytherin part.
But I still would kind of lean towards it. Because what he and all the Slytherins that I've named, you are all hardworking people.
Oh, for sure.
Gryffindors can be lazy as fuck, but not as lazy as Hufflepuffs, which is why I'm there. Ravenclaws think outside the box, and
Smoke works his ass off though. So I don't know if
but Smoke also would 100% prefer to be lazy.
That's true. I can't argue with that. You're right.
He's a hardworking dude, but I know he'd be like, dude, fuck that. I'd rather just kick back.
Yeah, I missed somebody, but finish what you were saying, and then we'll go to that person.
Well, no, that's it. Who do you got?
Chris, the Green Korean.
Chris.
I feel like he's Hufflepuff to me. Hufflepuff or Ravenclaw?
I think he's a hybrid. He's a hybrid of Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw.
Yeah, I agree.
Because here's the difference. When he would quote unquote Hufflepuff, he could think outside the box. Whereas Smoke can do that, but ultimately Smoke just wants to think of shit that will make him fucking laugh.
Yeah.
I'll give you one. The ultimate Ravenclaw is OC.
Oh God, OC! I forgot about OC. Yeah, and I would agree. Yeah.
Because OC only thinks outside the box.
Yeah, exclusively. Yeah.
Dude, OC looks at a box and sees a circle.
Right. You're right. I did forget somebody huge, and I apologize to this person right away. But Logo Mike.
Yeah, Logo Mike. Logo Mike better than I do.
Yeah.
I'll let you take that one because I was kind of gonna lean towards Gryffindor.
I would do that, but hybrid it with Ravenclaw, I think.
Okay.
I think that's...
Well, I'm curious, what's your assessment for me? I mean, I picked who I thought I would fit.
I think you got it right. I mean, but see, here's the thing. Like, I learned more in the last 20 minutes or whatever it's been that we've been sorting people about these houses and how they divide than I knew going into that. Like, that's why I put it on you, because I know you knew that stuff better than I did.
Is that why? Maybe that's why you should, like, trust me when I know shit about Harry Potter instead of putting up in a fucking fight.
No. So
Suck his dickus.
CJ here with a few thank yous and to let you know how you can get in touch with and follow the show and us. Listen to us on the Apple Podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, or anywhere else you find your podcasts. Please don't forget to rate and comment. PodAskew is a member of the Big Heads Media Podcast Network. Visit their website, bigheadsmedia.com, and follow them on Twitter @BigHeadsMedia. If you want to agree with or yell at us, follow Rico, me, and the show on Twitter. The show is @PodAskew, Rico is @RantsRico, and I'm @M_Blade. We want to thank logo designer and show friend Mike for his work on our wonderful logo. You can contact him for artwork via email at logomike80@gmail.com. That's logomike80@gmail.com. Thank you to Samuel Lemons for all original music on the show, especially our theme music. You can find Sam on Twitter @SamuelLemons, all one word, and his music on SoundCloud at soundcloud.com/Samuel-Lemons. Finally, our biggest thank you is to you, everyone, for listening. Rico and I really appreciate your time and look forward to bringing you another episode soon.
I learned that from Ron, too. Motherfucker, Forgeticus.
She's like, that's not a spell. You can't just add Idicus to the end of every word.